look at the date, man. I don't know what day is today.
Oh,
Who knows,
it's,
brother?
it's a blessed day, brother. That's what it is. That's all you got to call it. It's a
Amen.
blessed day.
Amen.
You know.
I'm drinking this dark. What is this coffee, y'all? This is coffee. I'm drinking this later here in the evening. That's Montel Allen, folks. This team no sleep. What it do? What it do? We got the man in the ride there. I just noticing all that leather he got around him. So you know he living well. We know
Nah,
that
man.
is nice wherever you at. But listen, you looking
Don't let
good.
the rental deceive you, brother. Don't let the rental deceive you at all. Don't let it
Don't let
deceive
it. I'd rather
you. You
get
know.
that President's Club. That's what it is. Or he got what is it? Hurts when you just pull up and they know your
Hey,
name.
don't get mad at my membership, brother. Don't get mad at the membership.
I'm still waiting at the counter. That Martel got his car waiting with his name on it, tank full.
Yes, sir.
I ain't mad at that.
Yes.
Listen, we see the folk in the building. We see Marvin already talking. See in the car. Yeah, he in the car. But we gonna do the show.
Hey.
Doesn't matter where
Oh
we
yeah,
at. We gonna do the
don't
show.
stop, man. You got to do it where you at, man. The show don't stop. The things that's going on in the world don't stop. So we ain't gonna stop.
Got to. Listen, so we live YouTube primary spot over on the Team No Sleep channel. Like this is where we belong. This is where we live. Still gonna do a little bit of stuff on Facebook because I can't say no to my mama. You know, my mama said go. That's where she is. So I got to go live there once in a while. And shouts out to Twitter because that's where a lot of this started from. So we're gonna keep going on Twitter as well. We got a couple of stories and trying to figure out where to go with this. If y'all got any questions, if y'all got something you want us to talk about, obviously put it in the comments. We can get to it. A recap of a story that we did last week. I saw this just pop up, I guess, in my feed today. It's not really news, but it's just update. Your boy Belichick and old girl
Mm-hmm.
said they getting married.
Woo. Hey, man.
Your boy Belichick and his young lady have apparently announced their engagement. So we'll see how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
He talking about renaming his boats and everything, and you know it's serious when you man. He gonna rename a boat?
Hey, man. I just want the people that same energy they was throwing at
Yeah,
Shannon Sharp, throw it that way too. That's
yeah.
all I want to say. The people that got a problem with the optics of what Shannon Sharp is doing should have a problem with the optics of what Belichick is doing.
Just saying, because it's gonna be interesting. But we wanted to follow up on that because we talked about that. That may have been being a distraction over in North Carolina with the Tar Heels. We'll see what happens with all this. Uh, The main story we want to talk about, and Ratel and I were talking about this a little bit before we went online because it hits both of us in very similar ways. And this whole RG3, Robert Griffin III, and this Ryan Clark situation. Essentially, if y'all haven't been paying attention, if you don't know what's going on, hold on, first of all, Marvin said get a prenup. God.
That's the first thing you come up with, huh?
You
Oh,
said
you
get
were
a
talking
pre.
about Belichick,
Yeah, you
Belichick's
talking about
old
get a
girl.
prenup.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
My goodness. So the whole RG3 Ryan Clark conversation situation, it stems off of the WNBA actually and some takes that RG3 gave about the whole Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark situation.
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark finally met together on the court this season, and it was all the drama that it was expected to be. It was a great matchup, a couple of hard fouls on both teams, on both sides. Angel gave one of Caitlin's teammates a good decent push. She didn't call for a foul. Caitlin ended up giving a nice take foul on Angel Reese. Ended up getting getting the foul for that. Got confronted by Angel Reese, kind of like Angel was ready to throw some hands because it was a hard foul. The conversation ends up being it was a black and white dynamic, right? It's Robert Griffin III, married to a white woman, is going around saying that he doesn't believe Angel Reese acted appropriately after the foul, right? And he was siding on the fact that she was acting out of character, she was acting unprofessional, she shouldn't have did all the belligerent going after her like she wanted to fight, like she wanted to have some more conversation about the foul. Ryan Clark, ex, he was a Steeler, wasn't he? One of my guys. Ryan Clark used to be the Steelers, wasn't he? Adele. Lord have mercy. I'm talking and this boy that froze. See what I'm saying? He in the car. Ryan Clark, we'll wait till he gets back. But Ryan Clark came back and said, Robert Griffin III, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand kind of the struggles on a day-to-day basis for Black women kind of thing. So it's going back and forth between those two as it relates to, does one understand what's going on? And from a culture perspective, does one understand what's going on from a marital perspective? Is it just a sports take that is that conversation, or is it Robert Griffin's understanding of what goes on in the Black family and the Black household? That's the question that we want to ask. Who's not necessarily whose side are you on? We'll wait till Montel comes back. Not necessarily whose side you're on, but what from that whole situation, what can we learn from it? Right? Is there a moral to it? Is it just something that just two guys going back and forth having a conversation and having a different perspective about the situation? Is it something that we need to address from a cultural perspective? Black men, Black women, white women, Black men, that kind of thing. So let's get Montel back since it's here. What's going on, Mr. Cox? All right, Montel, while you dropped off, I told everyone the story. So your thoughts on the whole situation. So the Angel Reese and the Caitlin Clark rivalry. First, let's talk about that piece. Your thoughts on that, right? Them two finally getting on the court, that matchup. Do you think that there's anything malicious about them two?
I think it's propagandaed up, but based on their talent and their race. Let's just
Okay.
keep it real.
Yeah, let's
It's a
go.
marketable thing. Angel Reese has had a problem with Caitlin Clark getting all this attention
Mm-hmm.
since she was at LSU, since a couple of years ago. And that's been documented in all ways. And I think some of it's true. Caitlin Clark is a great player, and I was having a discussion with somebody the other day. I think she's a great player. She's a great asset. She's tremendous for the game. She's done a lot for the WNBA just because of the optics of her. But let's be real. She gets a lot of the attention and drama because she is white. She's a
Mm-hmm.
white basketball. She's a white female basketball player. This is very, very good. Nothing wrong with it, right? You use what you got to get to where you got to get. I have no problem with it at all. So that, and I think the mainstream media sensationalizes it without saying that. They
Yes.
don't want to say they don't want to say, hey, yeah, it's a race thing, it's this and this and that, blah, blah, blah. It is. I mean, people like Caitlin Clark because she's white and she can play basketball. Some people despise her because she's white and she can play basketball. Same thing with Angel Reese. Some people despise her because she's black. Other people love her because she's black, right? So that we take sides based on the race and all that things. And I think this discussion between RG3 and Ryan Clark not only went into the basketball, who's the villain and who's the superhero, who you like and who you don't like, but it also crossed it. It kind of started to cross into the race lines, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Based
So
on RG3's. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so that's the second part of the whole conversation, right? Because so the rivalry between Clark and Reese, I agree with you on that. It's just good basketball. It's both of them great athletes. It would be nice if Angel would make some more of them layups instead of
Look at you. There
I
you
see
go.
more. I
There
see
you go,
more.
poking the
Listen,
bear. Yeah.
Angel need to work on that short game. Well,
But 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 also give her her flowers, man. She's the fastest person in WNBA history to make 450
all,
rebounds and
all the
450
rebounds. She
points.
right there underneath
Yeah,
the
yeah,
underneath the basket. So
yeah.
I'm making light of it, but it's funny. She wouldn't be in the league if she couldn't play.
Yes,
Right? She
absolutely.
wouldn't be in the league if she wasn't a professional. If she couldn't do the thing, but there's just more memes of her, unfortunately, missing some of those close layups. I think it's good for basketball. I think both of them actually are professionals. What they're saying on the outside right now is, y'all stop playing. Y'all stop paying attention to what the media is saying. Like Martell is saying, let us play. We just out here being professionals. Foul is a foul. It was a hard take foul. Whatever. All they're saying all the right things out front. Yeah, last year Angel was kind of in her feelings about, yeah, y'all look at me too, right? Y'all come to
Yeah.
watch the
Yep.
NBA. It's not just about one person. It's about me too. And she got in the feelings a little bit, but in essence, she was still right because, yeah, look at me too. Now, okay, I'm coming from LSU. We had a hard team. We was dope, and we winning, and now I'm in the league too, and got all this visibility. We raising awareness. We raising salaries. We raising branding. We're doing all these things, right? So she makes sense on that. The conversation now between Ryan Clark and RG3. RG3 being married to a white woman. Ryan Clark married to a black woman. Ryan Clark saying Robert Griffin III doesn't understand the situation of what a black woman goes through on a day-to-day basis. So, and all stemming from this rivalry between these two. Your thoughts on that angle of this particular story, the Ryan
Um,
Clark and the RG3 conversation.
I mean, as a spouse, maybe RG3 can't understand about what a black wife is going through. He can understand what a black woman's going through because his mother's black. Let's just keep that real. Or his sisters or his
Mm-hmm.
cousins or whoever are black.
Yeah.
So he can understand that to a degree. He may not be understand what a black wife goes through because his wife is not black.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. Ryan Clark, I think, crossed the line bringing any family into a sports discussion, right? That has nothing to do with it unless your family is involved with sports. But his comments are not necessarily wrong, right? I don't think it's necessarily wrong coming from a husband to a spouse situation.
Yeah.
Um, and Ryan Clark, it's funny he says that because his first child is from a white woman, so he has a
Yeah. Okay.
biracial child.
I didn't think you was gonna say
So I
that.
thought,
Okay. I didn't think you
yeah,
knew that part. I was gonna bring that up as a
yeah,
little. Okay.
it kind of throws a little
Yeah.
curveball in it
Yeah.
for him saying that. I I do believe, I read his rebuttal, the follow up said he stands by what he stands by about saying about black women and the struggles they go through and how certain people just can't understand the things they go through on a day to day basis and so on, the struggles they have to go through. I mean, yeah, we can't. One, we're males, and two, if you're not married, but if you're not married to a black woman, doesn't mean you don't understand it. You may not be able to go through it day to day because you're in a biracial relationship with someone else, but that doesn't mean you don't understand the struggles they go into. It doesn't mean you don't empathize or sympathize or even relate. So I
Yeah.
think he's kind of wrong in that instance. But I mean, they both made valid points. I do like what RG3 said. And I think they need to keep it sports, man. Keep the family out of it. This is
That's
not
it right there.
that's not part of what the discussion is. Just because RG3 was in favor of Caitlin Clark in her scenario situation, doesn't mean Ryan Clark has the right to bash and vice versa, right? Neither one have the right to bash each other because one likes the other, and so on and so on. Now, back to Clark and Reese. I do think Angel Reese gets some unfair criticism. I do.
Mm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think she gets unfair criticism as being aggressive, being these types of things, being all these things. And I do believe Caitlin Clark gets a lot of overhype just because of her skill set and because she's white. Because Paige Becker is white and she's just as dope, and she don't get it. You know what I mean? She's just as good and she doesn't
Mm-hmm.
get it. So Caitlin Clark has kind of became this face of the WNBA that gets all this propaganda because she's Caucasian. And I applaud WNBA. Leverage it, right? You leverage what you got to make our brand this strong, big, and what you got to do. And listen, like she could ball. Caitlin Clark can
Yeah.
ball. She's a
Yeah.
baller. So, I mean, all that aside, man, I just think the one thing that no one wants to talk about is race, and it
Yeah.
is the issue. It's there. It is there. We can't run from it. Can't hide. We dealt with it with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird
Yes.
back in the day.
Yeah.
White people love the Celtics. Black people love the Lakers.
Listen. That's what it is. That's what it was. It's kind of still the
Yep.
same way. Now, my,
Yeah.
my, my take on the whole situation is very similar as well. I think it, it, the Ryan Clark and RG3 thing stems back to some
Oh
old
yeah.
comments when they used to work together. Though I mean, there's don't let them end up at the same club one night, right? And then find out, hey, brother, RG3 over in the corner, right? They're gonna be some furniture moving because them cats already they don't get along with each other. But what you said right there about, man, there is a imaginary line. There is a kind of a space where you just kind of don't cross that line and talk bad about talk out your tone about somebody's wife, about somebody's mother, or whatever the case may be, because that has nothing to do with it. No one's going to win in that conversation.
Yeah,
I actually saw some.
kids and family are off limits, man. Especially
Yeah.
when it comes to discussing things, especially in the media arraignment, right? In the media, excuse me. It just that's not something. His wife had nothing to do with the conversation. That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
she can't go. She
She has
can't
nothing to do
defend
with the
herself. She
conversation.
ain't
You
got
talk
nothing to
about
do with
Caitlin
it.
Clark and Angel Reese. She has
Yeah,
nothing to do with the conversation. Now, if you wanted to bring in the simile about, hey, black women go through struggles. I see my wife go through it and blah, blah, blah. I think that would have been a better conversation, better tone, and would have avoided all this. But he didn't. He had to throw RG3 kind of under the bus or use him as an example, which I thought was kind of unfair.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And
I, and I,
personally, I've never. Okay, I've never really paid attention to Robert Griffin's takes anyway. I never really took him seriously as an analyst, more as a color commentator, if anything.
yeah,
I
yeah.
put RG3 and Stephen A. Smith in the same bucket. Now
I,
I know that's probably $200 million right there because Stephen A. got 100 million. I know that's a
yeah.
lot of money and a lot of eyes and a lot of attention, but from a perspective of really understanding and someone who I would look up to and want to really take their opinion, their take on. I mean, y'all know I've always said it. Stephen A. just loud. Uh,
I believe, and what's crazy? Both brothers are very articulate. Both are
yeah,
very articulate.
yeah.
Ryan Clark is extremely
Ryan Clark's a smart dude. Yeah,
prepared.
Ryan Clark's a smart dude.
He's very prepared, very strong, very. If you haven't watched his podcast or seen him on TV, he's very strong, very
Yeah, the
good.
pivot is the truth. Yeah.
RG3 is more opinion, and he's more public opinion, which I don't like. Like he'll
Mm-hmm.
go with what the public does. Whether that's his opinion or not, I don't know. But he sways more to the public opinion. Um, I don't. I'm not a big fan. I don't like. I
Mm-hmm.
can't say I don't like him. I'm just not a big
I
fan of
think we the same
RG3.
way, right? Just there's
Yeah,
something different about him that
yeah,
I don't want to
yeah,
say he corny, but he
yeah.
different. He
He leans towards that, but he leans more towards that, right? As far as
yeah
his analyst stuff, he's
yeah.
a little bit that way. Um, yeah, man. I just think the one thing that they don't want, no one wants to say and wants to talk about is the race. It's a race thing, and it's okay for us to be different. It's okay for us to marry somebody different. There's
There you
nothing
go.
wrong with it. You marry who you love and you adore, and who supports you, and you support them, and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be the first time. I'm in an interracial relationship. My wife's not white, but it was interracial. We're biracial. We have biracial children. The
Mm-hmm.
whole nine. Can she ever understand what a black woman's struggle is? No, absolutely not. Can I? Yes, because I have black siblings. I have my sister's black and my mother's black. We talk about struggles all the time, and she identifies she can't go through it. I'm sure RG3 wives identify when she can't go through it. But I'm not gonna, like you said before, no one's gonna talk bad about my wife, not
Yeah,
without me confronting them or me talking to them or
yeah.
we having a conversation about it. So in this argument between them two, I do believe RG3 is right. Even though I don't like him, he's right in the comment. And if there's a disagreement there to be done, he's right, man.
Yeah.
Keep it strictly sports. Keep it professional. Talk about what's in front of you, and don't bring family into it, because one, is unnecessary. And actually, Ryan Clark did the opposite. If he was trying to tear him down, it actually elevated RG3.
There you go, right there. So and Robert Griffin has been posted more, or I've just been seeing him more on these feeds lately because of all this conversation. And there was just recently a post of Robert Griffin, his mother-in-law, and his mother, and him and his extended family just chilling on a yacht somewhere and talking about
Yeah.
real love and the families getting together. Listen, it's elevating the image and the brand of Robert Griffin probably unexpectedly. I
Yes.
agree with you on all ends of that. I'm in a very similar situation. Y'all know my wife is white. We have a wonderful relationship. We are in a minority just in the fact that both sides of our family get along, which is crazy.
Hmm.
I don't understand that either, but I love it. Right? My
Well, you
parents
gotta
and
think.
her parent,
eh,
we like unicorns. But so shouts
eh,
out to
same race marriages, the in-laws don't get along, right? Same
yeah.
race marriages, they don't get along. The uncle fighting at the cookout with the other uncle.
Man,
I
Lord
seen
have mercy.
I was at a Latino park barbecue back in the day. They fighting. and the siblings, you know, the rivalship. So, man, if you, I truly, this is what I believe in my heart.
Yeah.
If you truly love somebody and they truly love you and they're meant to be, then I think anybody should go with it, go for it, no matter what color, race, or color. The people that have a problem with color, I think they have a problem with themselves.
There you go, right there.
You know,
There you go.
you
If
shouldn't hate
you
who you
unhappy
shouldn't hate
with
who the next
yourself, you're
man
gonna be
love.
unhappy for the next person.
Yeah, you shouldn't be hate who the next man love. Worry about who you love.
Worry about what's going on
Period.
in your house.
Yeah. And I mean, and I understand, and you know, I know black women. You know, we will always want to see. You know, they always say we want to see black on black. You know, black love, white. You know, the whole thing. But I also believe you cannot control who you fall in love with. You fall in love with the people that you're around,
Mm-hmm.
right? The people that you're similar with, the people that you assimilate with. That's real life. At least for us in California, definitely for sure. If we're in a work environment and that's who you're around all the day and you start to become attracted to somebody, they happen to be opposite color, that's what it is. If you're in college and you're in a college just majority of black school, you see somebody you're attracted, you marry somebody with who you be with somebody who you're attracted with and around your surroundings, man. I think the finger point and all that stuff, man, I would hope that would stop at some point.
Yeah.
But, you know, love who you love, man. Love who you
Listen,
love.
I was fortunate enough that my wife found me and grabbed hold of me when it was time, because I was trifling for a little while. So I'm glad that we together. I'm loving these comments that are coming through as well. Mr. Cox is in the building. He's saying just because someone doesn't have firsthand knowledge or experience doesn't mean they can't help amplify the voices of those who have do have that knowledge and experience.
That's fine.
Kevin Cox coming through, boy. You know what I'm saying? No, in other words, be cognizant of who you around and what you talk about. Right? Learn from each other. At the end of the day, we are all humans. Here we go. At the end of the day, we are all humans with hopeful, a kind, and loving heart. At the end of the day, that's why I
We
don't
try
see.
to be.
That's
I
what I
think we
mean
try
about
to be.
tell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm gonna say that's why we don't have like any heart issues, high blood pressure. I got a little high cholesterol, but you know that's hereditary. But you know we because we just calm and cool. We trying to be a glass half full, but then again you
Well,
mess
I also
around. Go ahead.
I believe we don't avoid the conversation. Like it's healthy
That
to have those
no, that's it
conversations.
right
I
there.
think
Right again, yeah, that's it right there. We actually look
I think it's
forward to having this conversation because there's it's a healthy conversation to have. So nothing goes assumed. Nobody gets nothing goes untalked about. We actually have that
yeah.
communication. We have that conversation. I love that. Yeah. Marvin saying, love
I
and
think
respect the
yeah.
ones that love you.
Yeah. I think those conversations are healthy. I think they're healthy within families. I think they're healthy within friends. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure RG3 has friends that are married to black women, and his wife
Mm-hmm.
and them probably get along and they talk and they have conversations. I think it's good to have that uncomfortable conversations with people of other colors. We have it in our family all the time. We have uncomfortable conversations, whether it be about race, sexuality, or whatnot. We have those conversations, and there's a lot of things I don't understand, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
My wife comes from a different culture. Her culture is a little bit different. So we don't butt heads, but we have discussions about it when I don't understand something or she doesn't understand about my culture. But we learn from it and then we grow from it and then we figure it out. I think it expands, you know, my knowledge and my like. So I love my wife to death. I think she's my rock. She supports me in everything I do. She's always been very, very supportive. My kids are beautiful. Yeah, I attribute that all to her. And man, I think you just like I said, love the people that love you and love those that are around you. I mean, and quit being in everybody else's business. That person
Listen,
isn't with you, then it wasn't meant to be. Just keep it pushing. You don't need to hate on the person because they're not with you.
you can tell we've been each married for a little while. We know the right things to say so we don't get in trouble. I just want to make sure I can still get in the house. No. But that's true, right? That's
Yeah,
beautiful too, man. And hopefully your wife hears that piece right there. The fact that we give the flowers to people and the persons that are flowers that are due, right?
yeah,
50-50, 100%, 100%, yin and yang, Bonnie and Clyde, all those adjectives, whatever the case may be, they complete us. They are our better halves for the most part. I mean, that's not just a cliche. And y'all see how I look when my wife's out of town. Lord have mercy, I'm just trifling. Y'all pray for me. My wife is traveling, and here your boy is. Okay.
I mean, I think that's in any. That has nothing to do with race, though. That has everything to do with what you feel for some person, right? Race. I think race is the last part of everything. Race only comes into people. Race only comes into play from outsiders. It never comes into play between the two people that care about each other,
Yeah.
right?
And
Whether
the race conversation stems again. I mean, this is the symptom, but the issue, the illness, whatever analogy I'm trying to use here, is Ryan Clark and RG3 have had some issues in the past about their
yeah,
sports takes. Right? Ryan Clark thinks that Robert Griffin is corny. Right? Doesn't kind of respect his takes on some certain sports plays and things like that. So that's where it stems from, and it just happened to bubble up during this particular situation. RG3 said something that was
yeah,
top of mind, top of news. Everyone was looking at it. I mean, people were coming out on both sides, either for or against Angel or Caitlin. LeBron James has very vocally many times said, "Y'all stop tripping and y'all pay attention." Listen, Caitlin Clark is the reason, really, that a lot of this attention is on women's hoops. Why? Because she can hoop. Period. I mean, he's come out and said it before, and he came out and acknowledged his support again just during this conversation.
eh,
So high level, visible people are talking about this. Now we got these two
yeah,
going back and
yeah.
forth.
I, I think Ryan Clark said he's gonna stand on his words in his stance, and I applaud him for that, and I appreciate it. And like I said, I see his view as well.
Yeah,
Stand on it, but his comments was a little bit of hate. He had a little bit of hate in his heart when he
yeah,
said those about RG3. So
yeah,
he was hating on RG3 for whatever reason, putting him out there. But to be honest with you, man, again, like I say all the time, I would hope two successful African American males can come together and squash the beef, whatever it may be, and move forward. We do not need us bickering at each other at those high levels where they're so visible and people that are highly influenced by them are being, are taking sides and all that stuff. It doesn't need to be that way, man. Squash that, put it in the rearview mirror, and keep it pushing, because they're both going to open so many doors for young sports, commentators and people want to be in that realm, that we don't need a division. We really
yeah.
don't, especially in this time of day. We don't need a division in any profession, especially but a profession where they're out there in front. So hope those two guys can come to a common ground and keep it pushing and keep it moving.
You think they
Hopefully
will?
have a discussion over the phone and go.
You
Hmm?
think they will?
I don't think they will, but I would hope they do.
I don't think. I don't. Yeah, I don't think either one will initiate it. I think it's what
No.
just you again. What you're saying is the right thing, and what should happen, and maybe it's dollars and cents that are involved. Maybe it's the public scrutiny, public eye, whatever case. Maybe it's pride or whatever. But if anything, it's going to be the folks around. If anything, it's going to be the wives that
They had a
DM each other,
conversation, yeah.
and say, you know
I mean,
what, y'all need to get this together and move on from this.
I
Now that
mean,
I can
it's
see,
crazy.
I can see Ryan Clark's wife. I don't know a woman. I don't, but I can
You know
see
the question.
her
You
reaching
know
out.
the question I would love to pose is like Ryan Clark. So he says, and this is me just poking the bear. So if he's like, you have to be married to a black woman in order that a black woman struggle. So does he think that Dirk Nowitzki knows the
Oh
black
my
woman
gosh,
struggle?
Dirk DeVinci. Yeah, hey, Dirk DeVinci.
Because he's married to a black woman.
He
He's
is
married to a black woman. And there's
Dirk
other prominent
DeVinci.
men that are married
Mm-hmm.
to black women. The vice president's husband, Kamala Harris's her husband. Does he understand the plight of a black woman because he's married to a black woman? Robert De Niro, does he understand the plight of a black woman because he's married to a
Yeah,
black woman?
yeah.
So, I mean, his basis. I do get what he's talking about, the struggle of black woman. My mother, I know firsthand. My mom and my sister, my nieces, and all that. I understand it. But again, and for topic of discussion, that shouldn't have been mentioned in what they were discussing when it came to Angel Reese and Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese is having. She wants to be the star. She's putting up good numbers. She wants to be recognized, and I know she feels she's always been overshadowed by Caitlin Clark. But unfortunately, in the sport and in the occupation you chose on, that's the face.
But- right. I
That's the
mean,
face.
again, numbers don't lie. We've
Yeah.
used that statement before. Old ESPN show. I mean, you look at the numbers that one person is putting up versus the numbers that another person is putting up.
Yeah.
You're looking at who won Rookie of the Year. Why? Because the stat sheet showed that you did exponentially better than the other person. That's just is what it is. And then
Well,
we
I
look
mean,
at
not
the.
just that.
Go ahead.
it's not. It's the marketability has became around Caitlin Clark. Let's just keep it what it is, man. I mean, she did her thing in Iowa. She did it. She came in and rookie in the NBA. She did really, really well. The NBA, the WNBA chooses to push her as the face of the organization. Angel Reese can have a problem with it all she wants. It is what it is.
Yeah.
She's the most right now. She's the most intriguing and most marketable. She has a big following. Why wouldn't you capitalize off of that? Now we're talking business 101. You capitalize on what's the big thing. I'm not going to promote somebody that's going to be big when I can already promote somebody that is big.
That's true. You look at
That's the
who's
nature of
filling
the damn.
stadiums and who's filling arenas.
Absolutely. Who's selling out tickets and who's not? What team is winning? What team is not? Those are the ones. Those are the agendas I'm going to push in order to be successful. She has not played under not every stadium she goes to. She sells out. Caitlin Clark.
They can't even play in WNBA
in their homes. They got to go to
places.
bigger stadiums. Exactly. So I don't care. I mean, Angel Reese, you can be in your feelings. Yes, you're talented. Yes, you deserve notoriety. But you're not going to get more notoriety than the biggest fish in the game right now, and it's her.
Put some more time in the
Whether it
gym.
be me, whether it's media perpetuated, it doesn't matter who perpetuated. She's the biggest thing. I'm not saying you necessarily have to embrace her because it's okay being the villain.
Yeah,
get that. She need to get that shirt.
Yeah, we gonna get Angel
Villain's somebody's
one of
hero
our
too.
shirts.
It's somebody's hero. Look, it's okay being the villain. You can play that role and elevate yourself if you want to, but man, you got to ride the money train while it's there. You have to. WNBA has to. In order for it to survive or get to the point where it wants to, it has to ride the money train. When Juju comes in, Juju's going to be the money train.
And they're going to ride Juju until the wheels fall off.
Until the wheels fall off.
Yep.
So they're going to ride Caitlin all the way till Juju comes in, and then they'll have a slew of stars to be able to market. But right now, the number one go-to is Caitlin Clark. Hey, Angel Reese, please do your thing. But and I like what she's been saying in the media. She's saying the right things, but please do your thing. I don't think this has got anything to do with the struggles of what a black woman goes through. I just think Angel Reese wants to be perpetuated as a star.
Yeah.
But right now, the star is Caitlin Clark.
It just is. It just is, and that's not negative coming from us. We fans of all of them. We fans of. Again, you know me and Paige Beckers. I've been talking about her, but right now she just right. She hadn't found her legs underneath her yet, right? I mean, I'm looking at some of the other. I love me some Nafisa Collier. I love me some Aja Wilson. Love me some Kelsey Plum. Right? So there's all these other players, and again, looking, I'm naming all these WNBA players. I only know 2 or 3. I only know 2 or 3 NBA players that are worthwhile doing anything. We're gonna talk about Halliburton in a minute. Angel, we're gonna send you one of these right here. Just the villain hoodie tee. I think Mr. Stark got one, so he can actually model this for us. And he flies a lot. Maybe, hey Marvin, if you go to Chicago, just holler at Angel Reese. I'll repay you. I want to know
when he wears it. Does he get any comments? Has anybody commented on the sweatshirt? That's all I want to know.
All I know is that y'all see promo available right now. So we got them on $75, and then we covering shipping. So order something worth up to $75 and Memorial Day sale. I mean, y'all. Okay, let me lock back in and stay focused. He says, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir." So see, he probably got it on right now. I mean, I wanted to ask you this, and then we'll move on. But so the whole aspect of this as well about this story, the fallout of this is the fans in the stadium after the hard foul, after the outburst from Angel, after the tech that the players on the Fever got. Now the fans are out there calling Angel out her name, right? Give racial epithets. I didn't see what they said. I kind of figured what they said, but now the WNBA 2-3 games in the season has kind of to put out these statements saying, man, we don't believe with hate speech. We're gonna figure out what this is. We're gonna address this situation. So there's this negative eye on the league because of the 2 star players got into an altercation, and now we got this whole bit of the fans in the stands thinking that the players owe them something, so they call an Angel out her name for approaching Caitlin. I don't think Angel did anything wrong. I don't think Caitlyn did anything wrong. But man, again, you can't be in the stands calling her MF, and you can't be calling her black
You
this,
know
black,
what though? You
whatever the
know
case
what?
may be. So
That's part of what comes with this.
yeah, it
It
is.
is. They've been and Angel Reese can't act victim on this one because this happened through college, probably through high school, college, and now the WNBA. Why would she expect anything different? You know what I mean? I mean, why? Why would you expect anything different? I'm sure she's been called out of her name going into the Duke game and playing against Duke, or playing against
Yeah,
another school, and
yeah,
somebody saying something racially, calling her something racially. I'm not saying the WNBA should tolerate it. I'm just saying don't play victim all of a sudden like you've never been heard those things before, because they came out of people's mouths
yeah.
all your career, all your career. So
Ah,
whether it's right or wrong, it happens because those are how fans want to react, and then you just be bigger and rise above it and keep pushing on, pushing on. I'm quite sure, let's keep it real. I'm sure Caitlin Clark catches a lot too.
yeah.
She catches, and she doesn't catch a lot from the fans. She catches a lot from other players.
She catches it from the players because there's a lot of hard screens that Caitlyn
And
gets that got a little
there's
extra
a lot.
elbow in
There's
them.
a and the crazy part, there's a lot of women in the WNBA feels the same way Angel Reese does, but they won't express it.
Diana Taurasi, I'm gonna say it right out the gate. Diana Taurasi, huge fan of Caitlyn. I'm a huge fan of Diana Taurasi, but listen, Diana Taurasi gave Caitlyn the cold shoulder. Brittany
Yeah,
Griner played Caitlyn's team. I think it was yesterday. There was a couple of hard screens on the young girl,
yeah.
right? So the
Well, I mean,
players respect her, but again, they still letting her know
they
that
think
she
she gets
playing with the
they think she gets unwarranted press and unwarranted praise.
yeah.
But what they don't, I would hope they would see, like before the Caitlin Clark effect came in, the Caitlin Clark effect came in the NBA, they weren't really making no money and also on the verge of bankruptcy. And now this young lady comes in and I don't want to say she saved the game, but I'm saying she's a big piece of the marketability and what's saving the game.
That is true.
Man, let's play her hard, but let's also protect the bag, like we talk about all the time. Protect the bag.
Protect the
Like,
bag, brother.
hey, we're not gonna let nothing happen to her. Let's let her be the face of the WNBA, and let's hope she pulls more of us up to be the face. Because
Mm-hmm.
the one thing about Caitlin Clark I do know in interviews, she gives props and praise to the ones before her, the ones
Mm-hmm.
that she's playing with, and the ones that are coming up. Black, white, green, yellow, orange. She don't care. If she feels you could ball, she would. She mentions your name in those press releases and those comments all the time.
That's
So
it. All she
to
care
say
about
that
is
she
ball
doesn't,
too.
she does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I wish they would understand, protect the bag. You can't afford for her to get hurt. You can't afford for her not to play. You can't afford for her to do those things. Play her hard, but also respect her, man. Just because respect her because she is the bag. Shout out if you don't care about her talent. I think she's that good. Protect her because she is the bag. Because as long as her face is on front, tickets are gonna sell and we gonna get paid.
Everybody gonna get paid.
Period.
Everyone can ride this train as long as we can, and we keep working on our game and getting better, getting better in the
Yep.
off season, getting better with our own coaching, getting better with our own technique, with the process and all that stuff. Get the egos out of the way. I'm not in the league. We're not in the league. Nowhere near the league. We'd love to have someone who has played or is played. Maybe next time we have some of them NFL players on, we'll ask them. But again, I'm just of the fact that exactly what you said, man. This is a good time for us being the WNBA players, because no one who played before the last 3, 4, 5 years, one, like you said, got any money, got any brand deals, didn't have their
Yep.
face on the cover of basketball, wasn't the face of the Wilson basketball, didn't have
Nope.
large billboards in all the cities, didn't have that. There's a couple of
Yep.
every now and then, but now we watch the WNBA games before, so we can see them come through the tunnel, see who they rocking, right? See all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, you wearing this, you wearing that, boom, and then you got all this others. I don't like all of the logos on the jerseys, but again, it's
Yeah.
big business,
I
big
mean,
marketing.
that's a business move right now.
It's big
I
business and big
believe.
marketing. Y'all protect that
Yeah.
bag. Don't mess with her, man.
Yeah, you got
Let
to
her play.
protect the bag, man. She's too valuable for the league right now for them to be trying to hurt her and put hard fouls. Like I said, play hard. I'm not
Yeah,
saying don't play hard, but you know, um, Angel Reese's foul was hard, but it wasn't malicious. You know, there's a difference between malicious and a hard
Yeah.
foul. If you're making a hard basketball playing a hard foul, that's okay. If you're doing a malicious foul, that's completely different. Yes, Caitlin Clark pushed her. They didn't miss it, and she pushed her. Man, it's all a part of the game and going. And I think they sensationalize it. One, because it happened, and two,
Because it was them
the
too.
optics of race.
Yes.
Race, man. It's the race thing. They
It
want to play
sells.
that up and propaganda that up to, I don't know if to sell more tickets or just to do it, or maybe it's just ESPN stirring the pot. But again, if that, and I'll say that, let's be frank. If that was two white players and that happened, no problem. Two black players, it wouldn't be no big deal. Keep it moving. They're just being competitive. Since it was Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, one white, one black, it's become a problem.
And I think only because it's them two. I don't think anyone else.
Nope. Yeah, you're right. Just
You know what
because
I
it's
mean?
those two.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think anyone else it necessarily matter, but man, because we've been itching. We looked at the schedule. Oh,
Well,
okay. When's
I mean,
Chicago playing
uh,
Indiana?
yeah, ever since LSU, since LSU and Iowa, it's been that rivalry.
Been that rivalry.
If I was Angel Reese, I would ride it. Yeah, I'm the villain. Y'all want to play me the villain? Cool. Just like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. On the
I was
West
gonna
Coast,
say
Larry Bird was the
I'm the
villain.
Isaiah Thomas of the WNBA.
Yeah.
Say for the Bill
Yeah,
Lambier.
I'm playing the villain. I don't mind being the bad guy as long as we're winning and we being competitive and it's gonna elevate the game. I think when Angel Reese says I'm gonna embrace that to be competitive and just play and play within and let's keep beating her and doing these things, or vice versa, and she's playing the hero, bro. Everybody loves a villain and a hero in the movie, in the show. They all love it. And sometimes we love it when the villain wins and we love it when the hero wins. Man, play your part and do your thing. Get your team better, Angel Reese. Compete, beat the fever. Then you can have those comments.
See that? There you go. Anytime we get to talking, see there it is. The CIA call. That's what that was. Every time we get to rubbing people the wrong way.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
You know what
Next
I'm saying?
story. Let's go to the next one, man. We beat this one with a dead horse. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. I see. I got distracted too. My wife was sending me pictures. I want to make sure to see what kind of pictures these were. I make sure. Okay. No, me. All right. Let me leave that alone. Make sure we got the comments. Mr. Cox, I think things have shifted with athlete marketing as a whole, not just WNBA. Lots more football and basketball players getting the bag. That was way too before was just the big dogs. Kevin, you're going to have to talk in smaller words, brother. I am not. You don't have to work with me, man. Or just come on screen, just in the backstage in the green room, because I can't articulate when I'm home alone. All right, I should not be even on screen on camera. I'm gonna cut this up into blooper reel. The Tush push. That's the next story. The Tush push has been legalized, passed, debated. It's back. Well, it never left, but there were some owners who met during the owners' meetings. Roger Goodell, I guess, didn't want it, but a lot of the owners said, you know what, it's all good. It's a legal play. We just mad that we can't stop it.
That's all it is.
Right. So at the end of the day, that's what legal play, good play is a stupid play because can't nobody stop it. That's what most of the teams were saying. Your thoughts on that particular play? The Tush push has passed all of the debate and all of the analysis, and it is now safe in the playbook of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, man. You just said it. You summed it up. You know, it's a good legal play that they can't stop. Keep doing it. As long as they win the Super Bowls, do it till the wheels fall off. You know, the problem what they're saying is it's unfair because Jalen Hurts squats like 600 pounds and can't nobody bring him down when he's in that whole pile because he's pushing it. Oh well, that's not our fault. You should have never changed the game from what was before. Should have let people hit people. Shouldn't all these rule changes? Good. That's what they get.
When you got your quarterback and your running back, they can, just like you say, squat 1,000 pounds. Because I thought Saquon was just ridiculous when I saw him squatting that much. My knees don't work like that. I'm in the gym all the
I think
time, but
Jalen squats
I
more
don't
than him.
mess with the squats. I mean, I got to use the machine so I can have some fluid motion. My son is out there doing the squats.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. I still got form and function, but 600 pounds. What you drinking? But 600 pounds, Saquon.
Oh,
600
I
some
got a pop.
pounds from Jalen. You got them two big bodies, two big lower body types of folks. Marvin saying, "Let it fly, Eagles fly." The play is
Yeah,
back.
man.
There's gonna be a whole lot of boos when they first do it again when the season start though, and that's gonna be funny. That's
Man, let them
as fans
boo,
we
let
gonna
them
love
do
that. As
whatever.
fans we love that.
I mean, I just you know my take on the NFL, man. They just didn't. It's gotten so soft, and the rules have changed so much that the defensive player can't really do much.
Yeah,
Can't do nothing.
yeah.
It's a fantasy league now. Everybody just wants to see people score. There's no reward for defense, so people don't want to see defense, unfortunately. So I'm glad it stays in there. At least this is one of the most physical plays in the game now, because we don't get to see the rest of it. So it's good, man. Actually, it's stupid to even come up in the conversation. Really, it's like it's dumb.
It was on
NFL
the
wastes too much
agenda at
time, bro.
the owners' meetings this off season. It was line. I don't know what line item. It was line item 10 on the agenda that these
That's
rich
stupid, man.
billionaires, rest in peace to Jim Irsay. Speaking of which, owner for the
Yeah,
Indianapolis Colts,
Colts. Yep,
yeah, recently passed away. But it was on the agenda for those gentlemen to have this conversation. Should we allow the tush push, the brotherly shove, whatever the official
that's a
name
bunch of
is?
that's a bunch of rich people ain't got nothing else better to do.
Man,
That's all
I
that
wish I
is.
could just sit around having that kind of conversation. Should
Right?
we allow
That'd
you
be
to
cool.
push this man's butt through the end zone? uh, Not many other stories jumping off, man. The whole week was kind of
I thought
encapsulated
you
and
wanted to discuss New York, the
what
Reggie
about
Miller.
the choke? Listen, that was a fan of the game. Halliburton, y'all.
Halliburton.
I'm mad at our Sacramento Kings, to be honest with you, because we had
Why?
Halliburton. Because we had Halliburton on the squad,
Yeah, well,
right?
you
We
had Darren
had
Fox
him
too.
here, and we had that dynamic player. So we bounced it back and forth between different stories. But okay, we won't go into that now. So last night's game, y'all know that the playoffs is happening right now. OKC is playing
Minnesota.
Minnesota right now. 72-64. Shouts out to SGA for winning the MVP. But last night's game against the Knicks. So we got the Knicks, we got the Pacers, we got the Timberwolves, and we got the Thunder. 4 teams that we haven't seen in a long time this late in the
Mm-hmm.
postseason. So that's good for the fans. That's good for us, right? Because we get to see somebody different besides the Celtics. Someone different besides what the Lakers have been there in a while. Uh, Besides, where's Denver, right?
Denver,
Besides those
Denver,
teams,
Golden State. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So in Golden State, you don't want folks to have injuries. You don't like the fact that Steph, who is the greatest shooter in the world, we don't like the fact that he was hurt. We don't like the fact that a lot of the players are hurt. But yeah, young Halliburton cat hit that shot and then made that. See, young folks don't understand the choke. Uh, Symbol that he did, that Reggie Miller move. Because
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Miller shot him with a dagger too when he was playing. Y'all look at some old Pacers
Yeah.
footage of Reggie Miller. It was good that they won that game because it would have been
Yes.
horrible
It'd have been
if
bad if he
after.
did it and they would have lost in overtime. Yeah, I felt the same way. But I thought the colder part. Not only did he do it, I don't know if you noticed when they came out and hugged him, he pushed everybody away and pointed right at Spike Lee and did it again, just like Reggie did. Um, Man, that was an epic playoff game. I think Halliburton has secured himself now as becoming one of the most emerging stars by making that shot and
Yeah,
doing what he was. He's always been a star playing with Indiana, but now, after the Olympic team, he's got to this point now. He hit the big shot in the biggest game of his career right now to tie it on up. I told my youngest son, I told him Indiana's going to be a problem. I told him that from When they won the first round, I was like, Indiana's about to be a problem.
Yeah.
And it's showing. I told him, I said, I told him Indiana will beat New York because Indiana has too many athletes on their squad. They're very
Okay.
athletic and they're long. And I didn't think New York could produce enough scoring. And it showed in the end, right? When the game started getting the clutch, they had trouble trying to find scoring. Cat surprised me scoring 33 points. I don't think he's
That
going to
was I
repeat
was
that
surprised
performance.
too for Cat to actually show up
Yeah,
like he used to show up.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that performance is going to show. He was limping after the game. I obviously I thought Brunson was tired or something because he wasn't playing his same in the overtime. And that youth of New York, of Indiana,
Mm-hmm.
and all the depth they have kind of started just to take over. Man,
Well,
I,
oh boy,
I'm
what's his
I'm
name?
gonna tell you
Naismith.
right now. Before you go, I'm gonna have Indiana winning it all. I think Indiana has enough to beat Oklahoma.
Ooh, okay. Y'all heard that? And go a hot take right there. RG3,
Yeah,
you listening? Montel Allen
I,
coming with the hot take.
I think Indiana has enough to do it. People. I mean, I'm not the biggest basketball critic, but
Mm,
I do believe what I see from Indiana, their defense, they're not able to make big shots. They can make inside shots. They do ISO very very well.
yeah.
Um, OKC similar to them. I just think Indiana just got that oomph. I really do. Even though SGA is the man, he's balling real good. They got some other players. I just think Indiana's gonna be that team. They're not fearing anybody right now.
No,
No one.
no, no. I agree. I'm a story guy. I want Anthony Edwards, but it's not the gear.
No.
I want because that Anthony is Jordan. SGA
No.
is
But
Kobe.
he's once in a lifetime talent. Yeah, he's a once in a lifetime, but he's not a Jordan. But I got you. Yeah.
But you know what I mean. So this generation, just from the when you see him move, and that's a huge compliment from me. I'm a Jordan dude through and through, but I see the likeness of a Jordan in Anthony, and I see the likeness of a Kobe in SGA. But you're right, Indiana. Halliburton hitting shots like that, ridiculous, and hits the back of the rim and it bounces back. Come on, man, you,
Man.
and that's not the
But
first time that he's done
that
it.
wasn't the only biggest play.
I gonna say that's
The
not the
one
first
guy
time
made the
that he's
three in the
done
corner. Yeah, I forgot the backup guard. He made the three in the corner when they went to go down by one. Topping with the dunk, and he was fouled on that dunk in overtime,
it.
which it should have been counted as a play. It should have moved on. And I honestly believe, man, I think Brunson's hurt. I don't think Brunson's healthy. For New York, I don't think he's healthy. I really don't. At the end of the game, man, he looked, totally drained and wore out.
Yeah.
Maybe he was tired, but I don't think he's 100%
Well, Jalen
healthy.
Brunson is doing it all, right? He's really the
Yeah,
only cat out there doing it all. So
he has to do it all. Cat showed up, but Cat was limping by the end of the game. And I think this was the biggest letdown. If New York was going to grab it, New York had to get at least game one to get under the belt to keep the series even, all the way through game 7 to have home court advantage. I think without them losing, they're going into game 2 going to try to figure out because they did everything right except for the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and overtime.
So you got
They did
Indiana.
everything right.
Yeah, you got
Everything
Indiana.
right until that point. And then when that point happened, they lost. Hey, man, a loss like that takes a whole lot out of you because it wore them out. It wore Cat out. It wore Brunson out. The bench didn't play very good. Hart is still Hart. He's just a hustle guy, which is good. But those other guys, man, it just wasn't there. And I think Indiana's long enough, strong enough, fast enough, and fearless enough. And now they believe they can win. That's a dangerous combination.
You get some young cats some hope, and you let them see that light at the end of the tunnel, and the train coming after them. Boy,
Man, hard to stop. That's hard to
you ain't
stop.
gonna pigeonhole me. All right, so
Yeah.
okay, you got Indiana.
I got.
We got to go. We got to be different. Okay, I'll go on the West. Like I said, I want Anthony, but it's not. I don't think the Timberwolves can do it. I'm gonna say the Thunder.
Okay.
I'm gonna say the Thunder. I'm gonna say because SGA just won that MVP and he gave his entire team some nice gifts. Rolexes and stuff. So they motivated now.
Man, when you got when you got hundreds of millions of dollars, it's all right. You can do that.
Send us a couple of Rolexes. I'll send you my wrist size or something.
Yeah. No,
We talked about.
and SGA is the man. He's a baller. He's
Yeah.
doing everything right. I like the way he carries himself. He carries himself very, very well. I wish he wouldn't have had the braids, but it is what it is. But he carries himself very well. He represents the game very, very well. And he's just an
He
all around
represents his
baller.
country well too. No man from
Yeah, yeah,
Canada.
Canada. Yeah.
Shouts out to Canada. Yeah.
He does his thing, man. So I mean, I like Orlando. I like Oklahoma. I think they're cool. I like Indiana. I just like the swag of Indiana a
Mm-hmm.
lot better. I just think they got something that's different than everybody, and everybody's been counting them out until now. And I think they're ready to arrive. I think they're gonna ride the wave the whole way.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
over
And
here.
I think it's gonna spark a new rival.
With who?
I think it's gonna spark a rival between Oklahoma and Indiana.
You think so?
Halliburton, young star. SGA, young star. One's from America, one's from Canada. I think they're gonna play it up that rivalry all the way. You got
All right.
Siaka, you
I
got
had to think about that for a second. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll we're gonna start a cultural war here.
Nah, ain't no culture wars. It's all we keep it all hoops, but I mean, I think it's gonna start a new rival at least between them teams because those are young warriors, man. Those are young juggernauts that's coming up in the game. It's good for them to butt heads and play very
That's
competitive
true.
ball.
I'm giving you a hard time. I had to think about that for a second, but we'll see. And the way Anthony talks a lot of trash, that's just good sound bites, but he can back it up. Just like he said when he was having dinner with the Olympic team, and Obama showed up in the room. He told Obama, "Listen, you better recognize I'm the truth." And these cats know it. When he said that, I was like, man, this dude is this man don't
Hey
care.
man, you better
All he
recognize who
worried
he
about
and
is who.
he's showing who he is, man. Anthony Ant-Man is one of the faces of the NBA, but I think Halliburton and SGA gonna have something to put their stamp on it as well.
We'll
So I
see.
think it's all gonna be good, man. I just think out of the four teams or out of the four, I do believe New York is the worst, is the weakest out of the four. They
Yeah.
play good defense, they play scrapping, they're hardworking, but it's so hard for them to manufacture baskets, right? It's very hard. It's either Brunson isolation or hopefully Cat does something, or somebody else kind of gets a garbage bucket here or there, plays defense. I think the other teams, even Minnesota,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to. They don't have to work so hard to manufacture buckets so hard. They got guys that can score.
Yeah.
So with
Bringing
that
it
being
back.
said, I think New York's the weakest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
out
gonna say
of the
bringing
four.
it back to the social impact side. Hopefully, New York or any of the teams don't mess up and tear up their city when they
That's
lose or win.
if
Hopefully,
if
they don't mess
Indianapolis or
around and tear up
Oklahoma
their
wins,
city.
that city is about to be. Man,
Oh
you
my
talk about a
God!
parade. Them towns ain't had a championship squad in nothing.
If
Can
New
you
York was
imagine
to
them having one
win,
now?
if New York was to win, there would be folks. I don't know, just
New York's not gonna. I don't think New
all up
York's
and
gonna
down
win.
MSG, all up and down wherever they would tear the town up. I know, but just again,
If New
don't
York
take that.
happen to get by Indiana, there's no way they're getting past Oklahoma. That they those teams are so similar with athleticism and size,
Yeah.
and we see New York is already struggling a little bit, man. I think they just don't. Not, and I'm not saying New York's not good. They just don't have. They need one more piece to help them out in order to do something. And I think that piece is Kevin Durant. If Kevin Durant went to New York, that would be the one thing that would get them over the hump to get them to the championship.
And then made all that money to pay all his child support. Lord have mercy. See, now we get into people business.
Oh, they messing with my old aunt. Yeah,
we
yeah,
gonna
man.
leave
Leave
that
Ant
alone.
alone, man. He young, having this thing. At least he's a brother that can pay his child support. You know what I'm saying?
And he's willing to pay it. I think wasn't there the story that Ant said,
Yeah,
"Listen, how much do
yeah.
I owe? I'll just pay the whole thing right now." Man,
Pay the whole thing up front.
good Lord.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to make payments. I'm trying to put it on layaway. Listen, brother, let's go ahead and bring this plane in because you in the parking lot is getting dark. I don't know, we don't know where you at. I'm gonna put a tracker on you. I'm gonna put an air tag on you just to make sure you get to where you gotta be. But bring us home, brother. Bring us home so you can get back on the
Yeah,
road.
man. Always, man. Shout out to everybody out there that's watching the show. Um, man, again, just check up on your loved ones, man. Summertime's getting hot outside. Also, man, shout out. And my grief goes out to the people, the plane that crashed in San Diego and burned that
Yeah.
neighborhood, and a couple of people
Yeah.
died. You know, to the victims, my prayers go out to the victims. I hope everything's okay. And like I said, man, check up on your loved ones, man. Check up on people you want. Man, say your prayers, and like you said, I always say, man, get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations, because it's how we learn.
We out.
Montel and James, bringing the heat, team no sleep, with champions meet, we're on the mic, taking over the game, no time for rest, no swearing for fame. Talking sports, breaking it down from the court to the field, all around town, we stay up all night, grinding on the mic, bringing news, real stories on the fly. Montel's got the stats, James got the flow, together we're 2